bass guitar strings, normal length bass guitar strings, onto my Blackstar Travel Mini bass. I've changed many strings over the years, bass guitar, bass ukulele, even double bass, but I've never tried to put full length strings onto a mini bass. So I'm not making this as a video as such. I'm going to film it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it works. But even if it doesn't work, at least we know then that this is a no-no. All right, so wish me luck. So I've got my Blackstar Travel bass ready to go. Other things that I've got ready, but I could well need lots of other things as we go. I got a little desk vise for holding the string, because I'm probably going to actually have to unwind it a little bit. We're going to see. I got a tape measure. I got a couple of pairs of different pliers and cutters, and the strings themselves are the Ernie Ball Slinky Flat Wound. I am trying a slightly heavier gauge. I've measured what's on the actual bass at the minute, but these ones are the 55, 75, 90 and 110, because my theory, I think a heavier gauge is going to work better, but I genuinely have no idea whether this is going to work out or not. So I'm actually going to start with the E string. This is a 110 gauge. Why am I starting with this one? I think this is going to be the hardest one, to be perfectly honest. It's the thickest string, and it is possibly the one that's going to cause me the most problems, because a lot of it is going to do with whether or not the string will actually fit into the tuner. Yeah, straight away now I can see that this is too thick to go through that. I'm expecting that, which is why I'm going to probably actually have to unwind it a bit. And it's such a shame, because I'm going to lose out on all that lovely purple. All right, but I was sort of half expecting that. So what I'm going to do now is remove the string that's on there, measure the new string, and then cut it. And that's why I've brought the vise, to be able to unwind it. And I haven't got to worry about holding the string too much. I'm being careful when I'm removing it, because there's a very good chance that if I can't do this job, this is going to have to go back on. Why am I changing the strings? Because I prefer flat wounds, simple as that. So as you can see there now, that is way too long for this instrument. All I've done so far is pulled it through on the bridge. That was easy enough. So normally you're looking at cutting a string about 2 pegs higher. All right, the worst thing you can do is cut it too short. And use my vise to try and unwind the string a bit. This is a bit I've never done. You may ask yourself, why am I cutting full bass guitar strings down? Well, these are all fairly quite new at the minute, these mini basses, and there are not actually very many strings available. In fact, Kala have just brought out flat wounds for their solid body U bass, but I'd bought these just before that, and I thought, right, well, apart from the shipping costs from America, these work out a lot cheaper, so I just want to see if this works. Right, so we've got a bit of tape around there, really just to stop any unwinding going further than that point for now. If this works, I do have another plan, because I got some heat shrink tubing, which will go on there permanently. But this is just to see whether or not I can actually get this bit here unwound a little bit thinner, so it's going to fit into the actual tuning peg. Okay, using a very small file, I have managed to start the unwind. So let's see how this works out. So you can see there, that's coming off fairly easy. Before I do anything else, I just want to see if the base tuning peg, whether that fits in it or not. We'll see. Yes. Having not done this before, I'm guessing in terms of length. Now, there will be a tiny little bit of sharp sticking out. I've just stuck it in my finger now, which I was sort of expecting I would do at some point. But you can see there, the vise and the tape hopefully means now that that's not going to unwind anymore. So the next job is to see if it fits on the base. So that's where we're looking at the minute now. Let's see if this fits on here, and if it does roughly, I'm gonna have to go and put a plaster on. I am then going to try and put some shrink wrap tubing on. Plaster on, not a major injury at all, it's just I don't want it to get any blood anywhere near this base. Right, it fits. Yeah, I got a bit too much string on, so I'm going to take it off, cut it a little bit, and then hopefully put the shrink wrap tube on as well. As I said at the beginning, it is much better to have to cut again than to cut too short, because you can't use that string then. Try again. Right, it's on. I'm not altogether happy though, because there seems to be a little bit of movement now on the outer flat wound bit. I'm going to see if I can solve that by putting a little bit of shrink tubing on there, and if that doesn't work, well, maybe this wasn't such a brilliant idea. We'll have to see now, because yeah, there is a bit of movement going on with the actual flat wounds. Okay, it was not a success. Bits of that worked. The cutting it down, the getting it onto the tuning head, that all worked. It sat in the nut beautifully. But sort of about halfway through the process, I realised, hang on, something's gone wrong here, because that's not me running up and down the string, that's the actual string moving on the string. Hear that? Gutted. It's so nice to play. Down this part, down here, there's no movement. Up here, there's a little bit of movement. When you get up here, there's loads of movement. So my theory, in principle, is correct. I've managed to get it into the nut. I managed to get it through the nut, and I've managed to get it into the tuning peg by taking off that outer layer. But unfortunately, by doing that, it has sort of destabilized the whole string. Now, it could well be that by doing something slightly different, I can get it so it doesn't move. Maybe glue. I taped it this time around. And my idea of putting the shrink wrap tubing, heat shrink tubing on there, that worked as well. So there we go. Yeah, as I said at the beginning, I did not know if this was going to work. In this case, it hasn't, but not because of the thinking behind it, possibly because of something I have done. So there we are. I'm going to actually have to probably go and spend loads of money now on some flat wound strings. As always though, I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Not everything works out in life, does it? If you've got any comments or questions, or if you know the secret so that that doesn't move around, please leave it below in the comments. If you've enjoyed it, give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you for watching.